Welcome to Digital Asset News. My name is Rob, and check out this story. This is what we're talking about today, which I find quite interesting. And of course, the thumbnail and the title suggest that it was all about the CIA, and they called it. I'm going to tell you exactly why. So this is what we've got. The IRS sees crypto companies as potential crime-fighting partners. Like, what? This doesn't make any sense, but it does. And actually, it comes down to an analysis of Bitcoin, which was done 2 years ago. From Michael Morrell, Senior Counselor, Beacon Global Strategies, former Acting Director, Deputy Director, and Director of Intelligence at the CIA. And we'll go over that in a second. This is what we have from the current administration. So the IRS Criminal Investigation Division is bringing in hundreds of new agents a year. Great, including many who will be directed to work on digital assets and cyber crime. This is Thomas Federuso, Special Agent in charge of IRS CI's New York field office. And this is a story from the Wall Street Journal, and they asked him a couple of questions, which is, how do you view digital assets in your respective organization? Are you willing to work with these companies? And he says, yeah, we can't be hostile to the tech. We have to embrace it. It's amazing how things change in such a short amount of time. Crypto's here to stay, as far as I'm concerned. It isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And it's becoming more legitimate. As the years roll on, it becomes more sophisticated. And that's true. I think we're in the right place at the right time. Bear markets, in my opinion, this is the time when I'm going to heavily invest. But of course, the naysayers and people out there will say it's going to go away. Look, there's people high up in government, the IRS. I mean, heck, we even had Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, say the future is tokenization of assets. So I'm like, I just don't see how people can say it's going to go away. I think it's going to be bigger later. Wall Street Journal asks him this, the digital asset space has some areas that are highly technical. Do you have the talent that you need? And he says, we've been very fortunate, especially in the last couple of years. We're on a hiring push right now. So we're hiring several hundred agents a year and sending them to the academy. A lot of them have a technical background. They're younger. They grew up in the tech world, more so than me, for example, who didn't grow up in that world. And basically, this is pretty much what it is. They're saying, like, look, this is going to help us fight crime throughout a lot of different sectors in the world. And this was actually an analysis that was put forth by Michael Morrell. This was something I remember from years ago. Analysis of Bitcoin's use in illicit finance. This is on April 6, 2021. So, okay, like a year and a half ago or something like that. Maybe not two. But this was the conclusion. I'll skip all the rest of this stuff. You can read it. I linked in the description. But he said this, excuse me. Based on our research and discussions with industry experts, I have confidence in two conclusions. One, the broad generalizations about the use of Bitcoin in illicit finance are significantly overstated. And two, the blockchain ledger on which Bitcoin transactions are recorded is an underutilized forensic tool that can be used more widely by law enforcement and the intelligence community to identify and disrupt illicit activities. Put simply, blockchain analysis is a highly effective crime-fighting and intelligence-gathering tool. So from now on, when you hear this thing about illicit activities and drug runners and terrorism and everything else that's out there in the dark web, just remind people, well, that's kind of funny because the ex-director of the CIA said it's going to be used to fight crime, and now we have the IRS saying the exact same thing, what they're going to do. So that, to me, is a step in the right direction. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And then real quick, this is going to be sweet and simple. I like Tim Draper. I find him highly entertaining. He's a billionaire. He's had some pretty good investments throughout the way as an angel investor. Done some pretty good things. I mean, I think Uber and Lyft and I think Facebook and who knows what else he's got into, and crypto obviously early. But he says that Bitcoin will soar to $250,000 in 2023. He said it was going to happen at the end of 2022, and that didn't happen. He goes, I'll just push it out 6 months. So the reason that he gives is, he says, my assumption is that since women control 80% of retail spending and only 1 in 7 Bitcoin wallets are currently held by women, that the dam is about to break. Draper told the news outlet. I suspect that the halving in 2024 will have a positive run. That's it. That's the story. So look, I don't know about you, but I control my own finances. I mean, I have a joint account with my wife. I have a separate account for businesses and things like that. I mean, whatever. I don't think because there's women that hold the purse strings that we're going to hit $250,000. It could. I could be wrong. I'm 99% sure I'm right on this one. I could be wrong. But I just want to bring it to everybody's attention because I think some people will look at this and go, and I'm not kidding. I used to cover stories like this when I first started YouTube, or when I first got into crypto and YouTube. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. Maybe it could actually happen. And no one would really tell me like the reality of the situation, which this is highly unlikely to actually happen. If it does, fantastic. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I see the short term, we're going to go through a little bit of pain. And I think in 2024, 5, 6, maybe, we're going to see some more gains to be had. I don't see Bitcoin going up, 6x, 7x in 11 months, but I could be wrong. And that's what we got. And again, this is Tim Draper, great guy, entertaining. Just don't see him as being right. And then lastly, just so you know, Sam Bankman-Fried was in court today and he pled guilty. Just kidding. He pled not guilty. And he said, I am not guilty. And apparently his trial has been set for October 8th or 9th, 2023. So let me just quick math here. It's like 10 months. So that's like 10 months. This guy's going to be out on bail, do whatever he wants to. I mean, sounds like a pretty good life. And of course, that means that if you dealt with FTX and got into that situation, don't expect anything anytime soon. I find this very peculiar because two of his employees, Carolyn, I forgot her last name, from Alameda Research, another gentleman who was one of the top persons at Alameda or FTX, they've already pled guilty. And everybody was expecting Sam to cop a deal, and he didn't. So I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, or a financial advisor. But I got to tell you, if I own a company and two of the people who are in the upper echelon of management, and they're like, yeah, we committed fraud. Yes, we committed fraud. And I'm like, I didn't commit fraud. Those guys did. Very difficult to prove. Again, maybe he has the Johnny Cochran of lawyers to help him get out. I just don't see it happening. But that's what we have for right now. And then lastly, Thursday's going to be a pretty big day. I've got me, Guy from Coin Bureau, and Ben from In the Cryptoverse. We'll be starting the NFA live show. That'll be at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern time Thursday. So that's 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. And I don't even know what that is in other time zones, so I know. So that'll be good times. I'd like to see what those guys have to say. And then also on Thursday, I'm going to have Jerry Hall, friend of the show, and CryptoCito will be on. This guy knows everything about Cosmos. I'm really looking forward to this one too. And then also on Thursday, I will be having Chad Everett. He is the vice president of Riot Blockchain. And he's going to join me, and we're going to talk what the heck is going on with Bitcoin mining operations and just the break-even points and stuff like that. So if you got a question for James, Ben, CryptoCito, or Chad, drop them in the comments below, or we'll do a little Q&A right now, and we'll get into it. So that is it for today in the stories. So if you liked today's video, thumbs up, like it, subscribe. I don't know if YouTube's going to notify you. Good luck with that. But we do this every day, so come and check it out. But that's it. If you want to take off, you've been here for 8 minutes. Now let's do a little Q&A. We'll go in deep. And that's it. Thanks so much. So, Bicky.